Hey, Leanne.
Oh, hey everybody. I think we had a little bit of a delay over there, but welcome to today's webinar with me, Leanne Johnston. And on my screen below, you'll see my special guest, Asaf Dor, who is joining me, but we'll get to know him a little bit later. So while we are waiting for everybody to join us on this live stream, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me and see me. So if you are on LinkedIn and you are watching us live, give us a thumbs up because I can see that. I can already see that there's quite a few people on LinkedIn joining us. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Marcello. Great to see you guys here with us today. And if you're on YouTube watching us in the live stream, I will be toggling between the two screens to try and talk to you guys there too, because we definitely want this to be an interactive session. Asaf has come on. He's got a wealth of experience, and I'm going to introduce you to him in just a minute. But as we're waiting for everybody to join us, just give us a thumbs up, give us a wave in the comments and the chat so we know that you can hear us and see us. And let's begin with this webinar today, which is all about cookie deprecation. And I was really surprised at how many people are coming on to join us. I think we had more than 500 people sign up for this webinar. So hopefully you're all coming on and joining us today. We are going to break it down for you and give you the nuts and bolts of everything that you need to know in just a few minutes. So while we're waiting for everybody to join us, a little bit of housekeeping. Turn off your phones, get yourselves comfortable, get yourself a drink. And I'm going to do a shameless plug to my friends at Link Connector who've got me this lovely Yeti mug. So Tara, if you're listening, thank you so much. And let's talk about cookie deprecation. So keep your questions handy because we will chat with you all throughout this webinar. I'll be toggling between both YouTube and LinkedIn at our live stream to figure out and to answer any questions that you're popping into the chat. So do use the chats because we will come to those in a minute. If anything freezes, don't worry, because you can just refresh your browser and we will come right back to you and pick up where you left off. And if you want to get some exciting free stuff, you know the drill. You have to stay till the very end and then we'll give you all of the freebies. But if you're joining us on LinkedIn, follow myself and Asaf Dor on LinkedIn. We're both on LinkedIn. And hit subscribe on YouTube so that you never miss another webinar again. So let's begin and let's talk a little bit about who you guys are first. If you're joining us in the chats, tell us who you are, say hello, say where you're tuning in from around the world. I've already seen some people from the States, from Georgia, from the UK, all over the world. So that's great. Tell us what industry you're in as well, because we can tailor some of the questions that Asaf will answer to you guys. So tell us whether you're in, gaming, e-commerce, whatever industry it is that you're working in. Tell us what problems you're currently facing with cookie deprecation and things that you want to know, because Asaf is happy to take questions. Luckily, I checked that before we got on the webinar, but he is happy to answer questions live. So make this next hour count, people. We're really looking forward to being with you guys today. All right, now, without any further ado, because you've had a look at him for the last 5 minutes while I've been chatting, over to you, Asaf. Thank you so much for joining us today on this webinar. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into affiliate marketing, and what Sell Expert does for brands. Over to you.
All right. So hello, everyone. I'm Asaf Dor. I'm the CEO and founder of Sell Expert, an affiliate tracking platform that was founded in 2008. Throughout my career, for more than 20 years, I've been dealing with tracking and attribution issues, generally architecting solutions for all kinds of businesses, which eventually became what Sell Expert is now. Sell Expert now provides affiliate platform solutions for various types of businesses, e-commerce and SaaS companies, iGaming companies, financial services companies. And in regards to our subject, we've been preparing for cookie deprecation for more than 5 years. So I will touch on the subject a little bit, in depth throughout the webinar, but we will approach it from all angles, explain where we are in the process, what can be done, and what are our recommendations towards making sure that you survive this transition.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. You and I have worked together for many years in the gaming industry, and it's taken me a while to get you here onto this webinar because normally you don't come on webinars and things like this, but I'm really happy that you're here with us today. And I'm pretty sure that everybody tuning in from all over the world is excited too. So let's begin with what we're going to be covering today in this session so that everybody can get an understanding of all the different sides of the conversation that we're going to be looking at. So we'll start off with what is cookie deprecation. For those of you that are joining us that are a little bit new to the industry, we'll just give you the background on what's been happening and why. We'll talk about the implications for affiliates and advertisers or brands and operators. We'll talk a little bit about understanding the change and what that means, and then talk into the nuts and bolts of what you guys need to do about your tracking and considerations for if you're working with networks, and also if there's some agencies joining us as well on this webinar, we'll talk a little bit about things that you should be doing with your clients. We'll talk about strategies, and we'll talk about preparing for the change, and then it's time for Q&A. But don't hold your Q&A till the bitter end. If you've got a question at any point, I will be flicking between both LinkedIn and YouTube to check what you guys are talking about and to see how we can help answer all of your questions. And then for those of you that love us to the bitter end, there's always access to free stuff. So stay on till the end, and we'll give you access to all of those wonderful freebies. So without any further ado, I think I've got the thumbs up that people are joining us from all over the place. I'm seeing St. Louis. Hi, Katie. Hi, Alina. And I think we're loud and clear. So nothing to do but to begin. So let's begin with giving you the floor now, Asaf, to talk to us a little bit about what is cookie deprecation and why should we really care about it right now.
All right. So I think we'll take it from the top and just begin with a quick description or the definition of what are cookies. Cookies are basically a way for sites to store content on a user's browser and access that every time they make a request to that site. One of the important, so let's make a distinction also between first-party cookies and third-party cookies. And cookie deprecation is third-party cookie deprecation. First-party cookies are basically the cookies that are stored when you visit a site and when you basically access that specific site. So a classic use case for using a first-party cookie can be login information. Remember me. You have this option to have the site remember your credentials or remember your user. That's a classic implementation for a first-party cookie. Third-party cookies are basically cookies that are set by sites that are not on your top-level domain, so not the site that you accessed. And the third-party cookies have always been basically a backbone for the digital advertising infrastructure. So from the early days up until now. But there are other use cases for third-party cookies. If you think of any type of content that lives on a site that is not necessarily inherent to that site, chat widgets, maps, all kinds of anti-fraud measures. There are many cases for third-party cookies that are not necessarily just digital advertising.
Yeah.
But the main concern that was raised by privacy groups and basically policymakers that were looking at the implementation of third-party cookies in the advertising space has led to this now movement to deprecate the third-party cookies in an effort to increase privacy and reduce large-scale tracking of users across the internet. So in the advertising case, the notion that a third-party cookie, say we have a banner that's embedded on a site, the fact that it is the same ad server that actually delivers that banner to the same user on different sites allows the ad server to have a clear path of where the user was, what they were exposed to, and essentially track their activity across the web. That can be very useful if you're interested in optimizing content or ads, but that can eventually also create a profile that can infringe some privacy for the same users.
Yeah.
Now, cookie deprecation. The talk about cookie deprecation started about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So there was already there were voices that were advocating for it. And the interesting bit is that it's not something we are already in the middle of the process. We are not, this is not something that's about to come already. If you look at it the way for us to approach it is to look at it from like the browser market share. The first to adopt the third-party deprecation was Firefox.
Yes.
That even though it does not have a significant market share, it still is a world renowned browser, and they have done it as early as 2019. So no third-party cookies are allowed at all in Firefox at the moment. The second, and I think one of the more interesting browsers to look at for now, is Apple Safari.
Yes.
Because Apple Safari accounts for 10% of desktop market share and 25% of mobile market share, and it also already does not allow any third-party cookies. Actually, Safari has some additional measures to actually even sabotage first-party cookie tracking. But I don't think that will have a significant impact, because for now it's restricted to private browsing sessions. So it's going to be it's going to be negligible. It's going to have a negligible effect. However, the big elephant in the room is Google Chrome.
Of course.
And Google Chrome, which dominates the browser market share, and has been continuously postponing their coalition with the other browsers, and essentially it's been pushed already for several dates.
It has.
But now we have a clear indication that will happen in 2024. So
I think that's talking about April last time I looked, but it could change, right? I mean,
there's news from the last publication was October 11th or 13th. Don't catch me on the date, but the current plan is to roll out a 1% test. So 1% of Chrome users globally will be assigned to the no third-party cookie mode.
Yeah.
And when they complete tests, essentially they don't disclose what exactly will be the assessment process. They say that by Q3 2024 it will be rolled out to 100% of Chrome users. So the impact is imminent. So that's basically that's going to be, if until now this was a little bit segmented out to Firefox and Safari, and maybe some people have neglected approaching it because still the majority of impact was not really visible because of the Chrome of the dominance of the Chrome users. This will soon change.
Okay, so you kind of got the history of where it's come from, the why, about why it's happening. But why should we care? Because that's why everybody's on this webinar. So the impact to our affiliate programs, to our affiliate publishers, talk us through what's going to be happening when this change actually happens, especially with Chrome having the major market share. So talk through some of the why.
Unfortunately, historically, almost all tracking was done using third-party cookies.
Yeah.
And that means that many legacy systems still rely on it to run correct attribution. And unfortunately, I think there was a recent survey by the IAB in the UK that indicated that from the survey results, that 51% of affiliate marketers still use third-party cookies to track their performance. This will have a significant impact because there will be a deterioration in all statistics, effectively leading to substantial loss of revenue of everyone who is reliant on third-party cookies as their major attribution infrastructure.
So this isn't only going to affect affiliate programs, because it could affect your paid media, which then could impact onto your affiliates, because the strategy that you have in your affiliate program should be propping up your other digital channels as well.
Absolutely.
Will it affect SEO too? Incrementally? I mean, it's all going to have a knock-on effect essentially, and it means that we're going to have to look at attribution a little bit more closely than what we ever have before.
It will affect affiliate channels in multiple ways. So it's not just one. I mean, SEO, I think, will have actually it's going to be a lower impact.
Yeah.
But for any type of media-oriented affiliates, it means that their wide view or optimization will suffer as a result of the deprecation. So conversion stats will basically be reduced. Also, when working with affiliate networks that rely on this wide publisher view and user optimization, so people that have built these mechanisms already are going to basically be taken back towards that. And also in terms of how affiliate networks and affiliate platforms are basically integrated into the advertisers' infrastructure. This, I think, will be the most, how will I say, the most dramatic impact, because unless someone verifies that they are future-proof on that channel, these affiliates will see a massive reduction in conversions that can lead to, how will I say it, emergency measures, but effectively it's going to show less conversions on the affiliate side. So it's going to have, I think it's going to have a dramatic impact on the affiliate relationships.
All right, so we know that there's going to be, we know why it's happening. We know there's going to be a problem when it does happen if we don't have all of our ducks in a row. But what are the things that we are going to have to get ready to change? So if you haven't already started looking at this, or if your platform or tech provider hasn't already started looking at this, what are some of the things that people listening and tuning into this webinar today need to go back and do, like tomorrow, if they haven't already started having these conversations? So like a checklist almost. Give us a checklist.
Okay, you said something. First of all, is raise the discussion. Okay, so in many organizations, this needs to be like a collaboration between the marketing team and the tech team. I think that's for every advertiser, the foundation is to make sure that their tracking infrastructure can sustain the transition.
Okay.
And to correctly evaluate the measures that can be put to replace the third-party implementation. So there are multiple ways to approach this. You can, I mean, some of the solutions that we see that have surfaced essentially transmit the responsibility to the advertiser website by setting up first-party cookie replacements. Those can be a relatively simple implementation. However, they also expose a lot of data to these external sources. So by relaying over the responsibility to the advertisers, the advertiser will also expose a lot of their business activity in order to maintain this tracking. Other measures are server-to-server implementations and let's say platform integration.
Is that going to be like the norm, like the new standard norm is, instead of using cookies, you'd actually move to server-side tracking and making sure that you're working with partners and tech solutions that can accommodate that?
We think that's the way to go. So we've been advocating for this since 2017. We made sure that all of our clients have that structured in the best way possible. Yes, it's much more, as far as we are concerned, this is much more reliable, and making data-driven decisions in a modern online business means that you need to trust the data. And so I'm going back to what I said. It's really it really depends on the amount of resources you have to implement a future-proof solution, and maybe the significance of the channel to you. But there are ways to overcome this and actually create a much more reliable tracking infrastructure, which is not reliant on external events, but relies on like the core BI systems of the business. And personally, I think this is the way to go. Yeah.
So having conversations with your tech stack at the moment, whichever tech solution you're using, you need to be going to have those conversations and find out what solutions they're implementing on their back end to ensure that your tracking remains accurate. And I know you talk about quality tracking a lot. And we'll get into that a little bit as well, what that actually means, because it's important for affiliate managers to know that. Secondly, you also need to be having conversations with your affiliates as well, and understanding how they are actually collecting data and driving traffic to your platform. Then you also probably need to be having conversations with other members of your acquisition team. So finding out how are they tracking their paid spend, because as we know, affiliates is one part of the entire acquisition mix. And this channel needs to work side by side with all of the others in order to actually get incremental margins and growth. So if you're not having those conversations yet, now's the time to start that. And also looking at which tech stack you use, because before April 2024, whenever this change is going to come into place, you might find that you have to do a complete program migration. And that also takes time to engineer and prepare for. So I mean, we've sort of covered a little bit about like things we all need to do, but can you talk to us a little bit about from like an advertiser's perspective, a network perspective, and also strategies for affiliates individually, because we've got a mix of all of those people coming in here and listening to us today. And I am having a look at the questions. So guys, we will stop for questions in a little bit, but let's just talk about the things that we all need to be doing.
All right. So so kind of going through the headlines here in the slide. First-party data collection, as I said earlier, there are multiple ways to go about it. It really, the question is, who do you put responsible for collecting this data on your behalf? Will it be the responsibility of the advertiser, will you put it on your own infrastructure, or do you subject it to a third party? There are ways to mitigate some of the issues around that with working with tools like a Google Tag Manager. So the industry is trying to put solutions in place. But still, if you launch a third-party tag in the context of your first-party, basically in the context of your site, it has security implementations and business intelligence implementations. So this, I think, would be a secondary option, or basically a fallback scenario, and not at the top level as far as I see it. Server-side tracking and which can also be separated into two methodologies. It can be one is setting up a post-back mechanism. Which is one way that tracking platforms and networks now allow you to integrate. And at the top of reliability will be a complete like data integration based on an API or a data warehouse. So I think depending on the significance of the channel, on the volume of revenue, how strategic is it for you, I would approach it from like, this is as an escalating spectrum of solutions. Where the best case scenario will be a deep integration, and elementary scenario will be this first party tag implementation on your site.
So just a random question off topic, but when you speak to customers that are coming to you to actually get Cell Expert tracking implemented, are you having those conversations with the clients up front and actually telling them or advising them on which route to choose, whether it's server side, data warehouse integration, or other, or are you finding that most clients are now already coming to you asking for what it is that they need? Like, what's the kind of general consensus in the public sphere? Like, are you educating still, or are you seeing brands actually come to you with requests?
It's a common topic that we have, especially with the larger clients. And we basically decide that we are going to structure our solution in a way that's going to be bulletproof. So when we integrate today, unless there is like a massive restriction, it's going to be at at the top end of the technology to basically prepare for any scenario, and to also verify the quality of the tracking, like we discussed earlier. So we want to be in a position where we can explain every tracking decision that was made.
Yeah.
And we think this is a good foundation for our clients that rely on this channel. It also then allows us to be kind of the source of attribution truth. So it's another aspect. How will you create this attribution when you work in these multi-channel, multi-department areas?
Some companies do run paid media on one platform. They run affiliate on another platform. They run, PPC and their own direct advertising on another platform. And is it a recommendation now to actually try and see if you can use one platform for everything, or does it not matter? Because your attribution modeling can still impact.
I think that over time there will be advertisers will gravitate towards a solution that will consolidate these channels.
Yeah.
At least for the sake of making attribution decisions.
Yeah.
So that will not necessarily just be there for the purposes of tracking, but also to make like I say, an educated decision regarding which source has contributed to the conversion, or to which source to allocate the conversion.
Okay, so for brands and advertisers, there's conversations that need to be had internally and externally. For affiliate networks, they should already be assessing the impact of their own tracking capabilities, and or discussing with you as a client what the best options are going to be in order to move away from cookie tracking.
Yeah.
And this could be, even if it's software as a service and not like, huge networks, but any tracking solution that you're using in your business, you need to be having these conversations. What about strategies for affiliates? So transitioning them to collect first-party data to start kind of moving away, and especially in the gaming industry, which is one of the industries that both of us work in or across, where traditionally it's always just been an affiliate earns commission for sending traffic from one point to another. Like it's kind of, we've surpassed that, where we now need to start collecting data in order to have a viable business. Like every affiliate needs to collect data. Is there still an education process that needs to happen there? Because affiliate managers that are on this call, maybe that's something that they need to be focusing on.
I think that in the iGaming space, it's relatively educated to the flow already, compared to I think the e-commerce space, where there's still a lot of legacy solutions in place. So the gaming industry, from a certain size of affiliate, there are already very established data reporting tools, and most of them are server side. So server-to-server pixels or postbacks or API implementations. And it's very rare that any serious player in the sphere will not be already acquainted with it and well-rehearsed in switching over. In the e-commerce spaces, I think that's where it's going to be the biggest hit. And especially with large affiliate networks that have
multiple publishers.
Exactly, not just publishers and advertisers. So considering the fact that the massive impact will be on the advertiser side, but will impact how the network operates as a whole. So and for a network to how will I say it, to project manage the transition for a lot of advertisers, some of them not necessarily have the technical capabilities to self-manage the process. I think it's going to be a challenge, especially in this short range of time now, with the time left. I think for every advertiser that wants to be significant for their big affiliate networks, they should have these discussions with them as soon as possible and transition to a future-proof solution if they want to secure their revenue stream, because some advertisers will drop.
So preparing for this change, I mean, we all know it's time for change. It was time for change 5 years ago, but if you're only getting on the bandwagon now, First things first, you need to be doing an audit of your current tracking and platform networking methods and actually having those internal and external conversations to educate the team around all the different channels that you're working in. Secondly, we need to be talking to affiliates about where their traffic is coming from and how they're actually collecting data. So really doing an audit of all of the partners and sub-networks that might be in your program right now that you're leveraging for the long tail, because that could very well easily disappear overnight. And obviously impact your bottom line as a business too. I mean, what is the potential damage that could happen here? Is it like 50%, 80%? Like, do you have any indication?
It really depends on the mix of affiliates you have on your site. I think the most vulnerable are the affiliate networks, because they have a lot of publishers and advertisers under their wing, and they need to basically be responsible for all of those, transitioning for everything to work out smoothly. I think the second tier of affiliates that will be impacted will be affiliates that are running media campaigns on behalf of the brands.
So arbitrage, like the guys that are buying leads and selling leads,
Absolutely. Because their targeting will be impacted, and it also means that they need to build a channel that will allow the conversions to be reported back to the networks where they buy the media from. So they probably would need to replace the tracking solution if they don't have a server-to-server oriented solution already in place. Then I think the impact will be to the smaller affiliates, maybe publishers with multiple sites that use some sort of a tracking solution to aggregate the data on their end. For them, it will be less detrimental. It's just going to mean much more discrepancy between what is visible on the advertiser's affiliate program and what they see on their stats, and this discrepancy will gradually increase.
Okay, so normally, I mean, rule of thumb when I used to do paid media was a 10% discrepancy was perfectly acceptable, but you could be seeing something like 40 or 50% when this actually kicks in. Okay, so really keeping an eye on the data. We spoke a little bit about kind of what the right tracking alternatives are already, because we kind of mentioned that earlier on. So moving away from understanding the benefits and the limitations of first party, but also you have recommended that server-side tracking is probably the way to go and the way to kind of build your infrastructure. Talk to us a little bit about contextual, because a lot of people still do contextual ad buying and targeting. What about leveraging content and context? And some programs are heavily invested into partners that work with contextual marketing. So what are some of the things that we can do to mitigate that?
Unfortunately, there's still no clear kind of path to where this is leading. What it means is that for many, so I think it's going to basically the dominance of the platforms. That's what it will do. I think the large platforms like Facebook will still be able to create audience profiles that can be targeted and then and still be operating it in the same way. But for smaller players, it's going to become increasingly difficult to tag their own users. So retargeting efforts, things like that, will be harder and harder to do without crossing the border to some sort of a privacy-oriented issue, like a GDPR violation.
So there's a little bit of a comment there then that I want to make, because if you are working with more SEO content-based affiliates and you haven't segmented your affiliate program out, maybe now's the time to do it. And to actually work with people that are like email marketing affiliates, paid media affiliates who are gathering first-party data, lead generation affiliates even. And this is where the conversation of pay on performance is going to become a little bit muddy too, because you might be paying cost per lead in your affiliate program instead of sending that over to the paid media team. And things might change in terms of the way that we handle commercial conversations based on the attribution that happens when cookies deprecate. So it's kind of going to be, from what I'm hearing you tell me, is that a lot might change, not just the fact that your tracking is going to change and your attribution of where the sales come in from what acquisition channel. It's also going to mean restructuring your affiliate program to make sure that you've got the right segmented mix of partners who can continue to bring you volume. and that your tracking infrastructure is correct, so that you can actually watch across all the channels and understand where that value is coming from. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So the tracking foundation will be the enabler of working with the partners that have with the larger partners or the networks that are geared up towards the change. And of course, the mix that you have in your affiliate program, the more direct, the less media reliant, the less network reliant affiliate you are. So the more you will direct partnerships or content partnerships, the better off you'll be. So definitely, I think there will be a shift in investment, because performance will not be the big sufferers in performance will be the ones that are subject to this large audience, or like global user tracking, and the ones that rely on that.
Okay, so you're going to need to review your service agreements, as you see on the slide. So talk us through the kind of things that you would expect advertisers to be doing now with their service providers, or things that clients are doing with you. Like, talk us through some of those things that you're kind of looking through and getting agreements on.
Absolutely. So from a GDPR perspective, you need to make sure that your terms that the users agree to in the cookie terms apply also to the tracking of the user activity on the site for purposes of compensating affiliates. I don't see a big challenge there, because that will only live in the context of users' activity on your site, which is generally covered by their consent to the analytics on your site.
Yeah.
From a technical perspective, I mean, we're going back to the same measures that we've discussed now. Reviewing your infrastructure, and then making sure that at least your big partners are on board with you to make the transition.
But I think also checking your service level agreements with your tracking solution or tracking partner or network or whoever it is that's running your affiliate channel, because you're paying them a fee to actually deliver this program and to keep it accurate. And I am going to bring you up on what is quality tracking right now, which we talk about often. Making sure that those service level agreements are still correct, and that they are actually going to be able to provide the services that you're paying them for.
Absolutely. We will see people struggle throughout this, but standards will emerge once there is a need. Right now, people are still a bit complacent about it, because it's been pushed again and again throughout the years. But now Google look like they mean business. So and it's just going to drip in 1%, 2 months away, right? It's not, and then it should be expedited quite quickly. So I think this is now is the time to approach this.
But also from an affiliate manager perspective, I mean, how many affiliate managers, stick your hands up in the chat, because I can see you guys. You can't see us, but we can see you. How many of you have actually put GDPR and CCPA compliance policies into your program terms to make sure that your affiliates are actually adhering to this? Because it's fine that you're doing it for your business, but all of your third-party partners need to be doing it too. Otherwise, everybody's going to miss out in the channel. So you need to be going back to your terms and conditions, guys, and making sure that your service level agreements with whoever is tracking all of this for you is set up correctly, and that they are doing the due diligence that you need them to do. Because otherwise, come when the change happens, you might actually be out of a lot of revenue for your business, and your channel might shut down overnight. Like, it could be that bad, depending on what your segmented mix is for your program.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're not putting the FOMO in here. We're talking about practical applications of technology and how that sits within your business.
100%.
Not to put the fear of God in anybody today on this lovely Tuesday morning, but we do need to keep it real. So setting clear KPIs and outcomes and collaborating with everybody, both internally and externally. Talk to us a little bit about some of the ways that advertisers need to be doing that, and even affiliates as well, because we've got a mix of both on this channel. And then I think I'm going to go and have a look at the chat quickly and see, while you're explaining that, who's got some questions, and maybe we can stop for some questions.
Okay, perfect. I think effectively, so there needs to be a handshake here between the affiliates and the brands.
Yeah.
In order for everything to synchronize again. So the solution needs to be agreed upon from both ends. And again, it really depends on the level of commitment and competence, both on the advertiser side and the affiliate side.
Yeah.
We already have quite an established solution with server-to-server postbacks. This is what Facebook also implemented recently. Facebook, by the way, one of the channels that would have been affected the most from the third-party cookie deprecation, because all of Facebook conversions until not far ago were reliant on third-party cookies.
So is Facebook going to make a comeback? Because now you can create groups and tag people and opt them in. Is that going to become something that might be a little bit more popular again?
Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of the question.
Is Facebook going to make a comeback? Because everybody had left Facebook for dead. But because they have the GDPR opt-in process in place and the decapture party consent, do you think that you'll see a resurgence of Facebook marketers coming in and building groups again and communities?
I think to a certain extent, yes, because I can see from my side a few smart affiliates that are cashing out on this, and that actually also works very well when a tracking solution is put in place that has access to data from a business intelligence tool. It allows these campaigns to be much more effective. So it basically allows you to set up conversion points further and deeper down the conversion funnel. By the way, that's true for, that's, I think, another incentive for advertisers to do that. When done correctly, you're able to define in very clear terms what are valuable conversions to you. So not necessarily just as a plain first-time sale or some sort of basic lead creation. You can create these additional controls and measures that can be defined by channel. So this is something that we do for our clients, and we see it's driving a lot of value. So that's something that the methodology allows, but will drive value even much more than just future-proofing the tracking path. So that's essentially touching the measuring success in the post-cookie world. That's essentially that. The post-cookie world, when we translate the affiliate channel to have full visibility into the client lifecycle, that opens up opportunities for different discussion between the affiliates and the affiliate managers. So having a data-driven discussion regarding performance, as well as being able to structure these conversion points that are not on these, really rudimentary conversion points.
Okay, so we've got a couple of questions. So I'm just going to pause you here. Ian Sims, hello, how are you? Or a question from him saying, do SEO affiliates that just take links from the affiliate platforms need to do anything?
Short answer is no. Okay. I think provided that the affiliate platform is not relying on third-party cookies to run its tracking. So if the third-party, if the affiliate tracking tool is already future-proof, then the SEO affiliates don't need to change things on their end. If they just advertise the links directly, yeah.
Okay, guys, so if you've got any more questions, pop them in the chat, but we're going to carry on for the moment because I've only seen one. But I also want to do a quick shout out to the many, many people that have said hi on the chat. So I'm just going to go from the top to the bottom. Leslie, Marcello, Thomas, Chris, Mark, Stephen, Sarat, Alina, Katie, Emerson, Natalie, Sunil, Paolo. And Paolo, you also mentioned a really nice comment there about all the other tech solutions that affiliate managers need to look at. So thanks for engaging with us on the chat. We do like to have people talking to us while we're doing these things. If you've got any more chats, I'd recommend that you go on over to the YouTube channel or any questions, because it's easier for me to see on YouTube than on my phone. But hopefully you can pop them all into the YouTube channel. We'll come to them in just a short minute as we carry on with the slides today. So really enjoying your engagement, guys, and thanks for being here with us. So let's summarize it, because we've sort of come to the end where we're going to give away all the freebies and all the nice stuff. But if you guys have got specific questions for us of now about your particular program or what it is that you need to be doing, let's get you to summarize what people should be doing, like from today moving forward, to get ready for these changes. So I'll let you summarize this slide, Asaf.
All right. So, okay, be prepared. Start having discussions with all the relevant stakeholders.
Who are those stakeholders? Tell us.
The stakeholders, your tech team, your platform providers, and your large affiliates. So these are your first 3 targets in that order. Make sure that you have the foundation to work with it in your own organization.
Yeah.
Then approach your platform provider to verify that you are geared up for it, and then approach your relevant affiliates in order to make sure that once the transition happens, by the way, from Chrome, the recent Chrome already allows you to run with the flag that kills the third-party cookie. So you will be able to test. You'll be able to test the tracking path, but you can do it already with Safari or Firefox. That will have the same effect.
Yeah.
So if your tracking links survive and you see the attribution happen with either either Safari or Firefox, or with Chrome with the third-party cookie deprecation flag, it means you're okay, at least from the platform, from the advertiser platform perspective.
Okay.
When you're talking about considering alternative tracking options, how significant is the affiliate channel for you?
In most cases, 10% plus of your budgets are probably being spent in the affiliate channel. So that could be quite significant depending on the size of your business.
Exactly. Consider this a long-term investment. My advice is not to go cheap on this, because this will impact the trust level that you get from your partners. This is an industry that relies on trust, and if the tracking doesn't work, then trust is lost. Monitor and test the situation, like as I recommended. Run these preliminary tests. Maybe communicate that to all of your affiliates to make sure that they are on the right page. At least delegate this responsibility to them as well. And I think watch the Google the cookie deprecation timeline. They're now launching a set of articles. They're preparing all kinds of scenarios towards it. They allow some people to be excluded from third-party deprecation, but not on the ads, not on the advertising industry.
Okay.
And reach out. A lot of people in the industry are already gearing up towards this. There are solutions in place. There are many people that have already structured bulletproof solutions. So go and inquire about them, and then
don't panic, get help. One of the other things that I think you guys should be doing as well from a strategic perspective is having a look at your program segmentation right now to understand the impact that you will currently have if this does switch off, and if it does actually impact this part of your acquisition channel. So start having a look at that segmentation exercise. Start looking at your top performing affiliates and how they are capturing data, how they're tracking, how they're driving traffic to you, and what types of traffic they're driving to you, because you really do need to understand the impact that this might have if the change does go ahead and you're not ready for it. Because you might need to kind of swing your budgets out into different channels. You might need to up paid media, or distribute money elsewhere, if changes like this do come into place. We've got a couple of more questions which I just want to kind of get to. So Sarah is asking, do publishers need to place affiliate tracking behind privacy policy consent? If rejected, should the tracking still fire or not?
That's a very good question. I think as long as the user, because what will happen with first-party cookie, or basically with transferring the responsibility to the advertiser side, and because of it being segmented, so it means that the network or the publisher tracking will be restricted to the user activity only on that site.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, I'm not a legal expert, but from the advice that we've been given, it should not have a significant impact because it's covered in the terms and conditions that the users agree to when they basically are redirected to the sites. Yeah, so I think the tracking will still be fired.
All right, another question here from Brittany. Thanks, Brittany, for sending this one in. The question is, how does one go about implementing CCPA compliance through service agreements? Is it just a language update, or is there an actionable implementation that's required? What are your thoughts?
I will not be able to comment on legal matters, but again, from what we've learned is that typical GDPR policies or CCPA policies are already covering analytics on a site, and that probably should be covering the user behavior for the context of attribution.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially as when, I mean, most of the compensation for affiliate channels is for engagements that the user already has provided quite a lot of personally identifiable information. Okay. It's not that you as an advertiser are tracking their behavior or creating a profile on them from their activity on competitor sites.
All right, one more question from David Troop. Hi, David. He says, are you familiar with certified Google click trackers, and how important is this utilizing affiliate marketing through Google SEM?
Okay, yeah, of course I'm familiar with that. It's basically a parallel tracking methodology. This is, it has, the impact is more towards what is the tracking platform that you will be using as an affiliate.
Okay.
If you're running any type of third-party tracking platform, or then you would probably need to make sure that they are certified, because there is a certification process that Google requires in order to allow certain domains to be implemented on search engine marketing. If it's going to be tracked directly using the affiliate program links, there are solutions that can be still viable without this certification because it's associated directly with the advertiser. It's just quite rare that affiliate marketing links will be used in SEM. Usually it's something that brands don't like affiliates competing on terms that they operate in. So the short answer is it can be bypassed, but really depends on the use case.
All right. Okay, guys, I haven't seen any more questions, but you got another minute or two to get them in. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar. We've taken up an hour of your lives. If there's another, we've got a lovely message. This has been an excellent session. Thank you. It has been an excellent session, and we've loved being here with all of you. There is a really great downloadable guide on Sell Expert's website. If you just head over to their blog, you can see the URL in front of you. You can download that guide. It tells you everything that you need to know about cookie deprecation, what you should be doing step by step. So I really recommend that you go over there and download that guide off of their website. If you need to say hello or you need help with your affiliate program, you can always book a 15-minute strategy session with me. And you can request a free mini program audit with our agency team as well. We'd love to help you. Just make sure that you've got your segmentation right and that you're ready and prepared for this change. Get in touch with us with that. If there's no more questions, we're going to say thank you, and we're going to ask you to talk to us on both LinkedIn and also via email. And then obviously you can get in touch with Asaf and his entire team to help you with your affiliate program tracking solutions on sellexpert.com. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here with you, and thank you for your time and for being here with us. Thank you, Whitney, for saying that our time has been valuable and helpful, and reassured that you guys are taking the right steps. That's exactly what we're here today, to help you guys make the decisions that you need to make and to get ahead of cookie deprecation and not be, paranoid or scared about it, but just get, unpanicked and prepared. So those are the 2 words that I'm going to leave you with today. Get prepared, don't panic, and ask for help. Asaf, it's been a pleasure to have you here on this webinar.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time, and everybody that joined us from all over the world. I mean, I saw Colombia, I saw Brazil. I saw people from London, from the US, everywhere around the world. It has been our pleasure to be with you this afternoon, and thank you so much for watching us.